Hey there, welcome back to JV's 15-Minute Fitness. This time we're talking about mindset, mental fitness, not physical fitness. Recently, I had a great conversation with my team of coaches, and we're talking about goals for the next 12 weeks. I find that chunking goals into smaller segments really helps me stay on track. If I'm thinking about those New Year's resolutions that we do in January, like get fit, go to the gym, do all like these big umbrella items, I find that I and lots of other people tend to lose steam right away. But if we can chunk it down into small bits and then tackle maybe some of our limiting beliefs around those small bits, I think it can make all the difference. So if you want to talk about goals, you want to talk about limiting beliefs, you want to talk about a story that I shared with my team today, just stay tuned. Okay, so let's dive in and talk about what's going to happen over the next 12 weeks. Here's the deal. I consider July halftime. It feels like halftime of 2020. And we know that 2020 has not been anything like what we might have thought it would be. But that doesn't stop us from setting some goals and going after dreams or visions or goals that we might have had in January, because the time's still going to pass, right? We're still going to get to December 31st, 2020. We're still going to start a new year, whether or not we did anything with this year. I mean, for heaven's sakes, Taylor Swift just dropped a new album today that she managed to do while in quarantine. So I figure the rest of us can come up with some goals that we can accomplish in the next 5 months, August, September, October, November, and December. And whether you're watching this now or 6 months from now or a year from now or whatever, I still think the idea of chunking and the idea that the time's going to pass anyway is relevant no matter when you might be watching it. But I want to talk specifically about limiting beliefs around those goals that we might set. So here's where I think it's a little bit of a female issue, a little bit of a female mindset issue that we really start to, I've never one time heard my husband or any other man that I know use the term limiting beliefs in relation to themselves. I've never one time heard my husband ever say that. I have heard male coaches and male mentors use it to describe women, but I've never one time heard a male say, well, I have a lot of limiting beliefs. I believe to my core, this is a female sort of issue, a challenge that we have that's just generations and generations and generations old. So the only way we break that stereotype, that archetype, we break that for future generations is by doing it right now. And that means addressing the idea of limiting beliefs around goal setting and then doing the thing that we're most scared to do. So let me share a little story with you. Over the past couple weeks, I've really been intentional about setting some goals for the next 12 weeks. I really believe the 30-day and the 90-day chunks of time are like these magical chunks of time where we have some urgency because, if we give ourselves all day long to do something, we'll take all day long. You know this, yeah? Like if you don't do your workout in the morning, you're like, I've got all day long to do it. It'll be 11 p.m. and you will not have worked out. So giving ourselves a sense of urgency. So I really believe in the 30-day and the 90-day goals. And then really looking at what's holding us back sometimes from putting pen to paper and putting those goals down and out into the universe where we can see it. So if you can see behind me, first of all, a very, very cute puppy is sleeping. That's why I'm doing this video right now, because she's sleeping. But if you can see behind me, you can see my calendar and then another whiteboard where I have put my 12-week goals. And I was sharing these 12-week goals with my team earlier this week because I try to go live in there, meaning our team community hub, a couple times a week and really do some deep dives with them to help them reach their goals and build the businesses that they want to build and create the legacy and the impact that they want to create. And I like to do that by sharing some of my own experiences. And as we got into this, and as I was sharing my 12-week goals, and I was talking about one of the goals I had, I also had to unpack what had been holding me back from doing it before. And I just kind of started talking, and then all of a sudden it just started bubbling out. And it was a kind of a vulnerable moment for me to share when I thought I was just sharing the goals, but what I ended up sharing was a limiting belief around why I hadn't set that goal or done that action prior. And let me tell you a little story. Years and years and years ago, when I became a coach, the only program that was available on it wasn't even Beachbody On Demand. I'm so used to saying that now that I don't even remember life before it. But there were 3 programs available: Yoga Booty Ballet, Hip Hop Abs, I think, and P90X. We just had this little library of 3 programs. And so everyone who was a coach at the time when I came in 12 years ago was doing P90X, and they were P90X success stories. And I went to a really cool event. It was in Ohio because when I first started, I was really the first Beachbody coach in Indiana, and I was the first Beachbody coach that was growing a business. I mean, if you've come to this video and you don't know what I do, hi. I grow a business helping women mostly in their health and fitness journey and help them help others in the health and fitness journey. I partner with Beachbody. So as a coach, I had come into the business under the tutelage and mentorship of an incredible woman named Chalene Johnson. And Chalene had created several fitness programs. I was a master trainer for her. And one of her fitness programs was coming into the Beachbody fitness library, Turbo Jam. But prior to that, I'm at this live event. I'm the first coach that's building a business in the state of Indiana. So we had a road trip over to Ohio. They had a few more coaches over there at the time, did this big kind of corporate event. And I remember the night before the event, we drove over on Friday, the event was on Saturday, and on Friday night, all the coaches that were there kind of sitting around the fire. The hotel had a fire pit, and they were telling their stories. And it was P90X, 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 P90X. And I looked at the corporate representative who was there for the next day's event, and I said, I don't have a story. And he said, yes, you do. We just haven't found it yet. Because all I heard coming into that was P90X. And so if I was a Turbo girl or a Pyo girl or any other, fitness program girl, I hadn't done P90X and I didn't have results from it, then I didn't know if I could build a business. And although I have gone on to build a business, that little piece of that story has stuck with me all these years. Now, why am I sharing that with you right now? Because we're starting a new program in just a couple weeks, Muscle Burns Fat, MBF, and then Muscle Burns Fat Advanced, MBFA. And I have committed, one of my 12-week goals is to take a before and after picture from this program and submit it to the Beachbody Challenge. And the Beachbody Challenge is just an incredible movement that we have within Team Beachbody, where people submit their results with our programs. And we just finished Virtual Summit. And as people submit their stories and their results, we actually have winners of the Beachbody Challenge where they win, I think it was $100,000. Can you imagine, for getting healthy and fit? How incredible is that? So I'm not a big weight loss success story. I am a story of consistency, and Beachbody programs and products have absolutely, completely transformed my life, but I'm not a weight loss success story. But in one of my very, very first coaching events, that's what I saw, were these weight loss success stories, and all centered around P90X. And a little story got lodged in my brain that said, okay, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be able to build a business because you love fitness, you love health, you love helping people, but you're not a weight loss success story, and you don't need to be talking about any of that because that's not your story, and who are you to be talking about your fitness journey kind of thing. Now, here's the interesting part. I believe to my core, like to a cellular level, I believe that fitness transforms our life, period. I believe it's more than a squat, it's more than a lunge, it's more than a push-up. It is life transformation that's happening when we sweat. I believe when I go down to my basement, I go down as one person, and after I work out, I come up as a better version of that person. I don't believe it's the same person who walks back up the stairs. I believe it's a better version. I hope it's a better version. That's the goal. I believe fitness absolutely can transform us inside and out. And yet, a part of me has held myself back from sharing the physical part of my fitness journey, because early on, that little story lodged in my brain that, well, you have to have a weight loss success story, and who are you to be talking about, your fitness journey if you don't have a weight loss success story? And what are you doing posting befores and afters? And then, of course, as social media has progressed, you do get a little, I guess, gun shy, for lack of a better word, to post stuff, because someone's going to say, well, what are you doing posting? That's neither here nor there. But here's the problem with that limiting belief. Out here in the world, somewhere, are other women in their 40s with children who are a little older, and actually maybe younger. Really, age doesn't have anything to do with it. So even wipe that even clean. Out there in the world, there are women who have an inherent love of fitness. They love movement. They believe in the power of movement. They're pretty consistent with their movement. They may want to get some results like I do. Like I've always wanted really defined abs. I've always wanted really defined arms. Like I've always wanted a little bit more of a booty. There are physical results that I would like to get. I think there are women out there who have that same desire. And yet they really have their fitness dialed in. They like fitness. They're going to work out. And every time I don't share my fitness journey, every time I only talk about the inside stuff, which I think is the most important stuff, and it's the stuff that has changed my life the most. But every time I do that, every time I don't share before and after, every time I don't talk about the physical part of my journey, I am prohibiting someone from that seeing or knowing that part of my story. And that part of my story might have been the part that connected us, and I could maybe help them. So this limiting belief that I've had for 12 years as a coach, that my physical fitness journey isn't important, that it's not worth taking a before and after for, that no one really cares about your journey if you don't have a big weight loss success story. No one really cares if you're consistent. They just want the dramatic befores and afters. Just all the crap that I've told myself for 12 years from that one experience has possibly hindered me from connecting with other women out there who love health and fitness like I do, have it pretty dialed in, but always want to level up, and more importantly, want a community to do it with. They need the nutritional support, because I sure did, and maybe they want to build a little bit of an income as well. Maybe they just want to be surrounded by other badass women who are mission-driven messengers who want to help others. And for them, like me, it's not as much about the weight loss. It's about the life change. For me, it's always about the life change. But that story that I've been telling myself for 12 years has prohibited me from sharing the physical part of my fitness journey. And there could be women out there who saw my story, who see my story and go, oh, well, she doesn't have a big weight loss success story. I thought you had to have this 200-pound weight loss success story in order to build a business as a Beachbody coach. Oh, she doesn't, but she's doing it. Well, maybe I could too. I have been missing out on connecting with them because of my limiting beliefs surrounding sharing that physical part of my fitness journey. I will never hesitate. I will tell you the drop of the hat all day long how much I believe fitness can change your life and how transformative I think it is, and how vital I think all the pieces of this business opportunity are: the fitness, the nutrition, the community, the personal growth, the income. Like I can talk all day long about how much I love this entire opportunity, what I get to do and who I get to do it with every day. But I wasn't talking about just the physical part. And there are women out there like me who want to get shredded abs, who want to maybe run a little faster or bike a little faster or get a little bit more of a booty, or as we get older, have tools in our lives to help us, age well and function well and have that flexibility in our body so that we feel good when we get out of bed in the morning. I know there are women out there like me, and I have been preventing myself from connecting with them because I've been too, scared, to share those befores and afters, and because of that limiting belief that I told myself all those years ago. I'm sharing that today with you because I know without a doubt that if you are a human being on this planet, you too have limiting beliefs. You too do. And it was so funny when I shared with my coaches that I had that, and they were floored. They're like, oh my gosh, like you've never submitted your befores and afters? I said, no, not unless I was in a test group and I had to. And they didn't go to the Beachbody Challenge. They just went to the test group people. Not unless I was in a test group, not unless I had to because of that. I've never submitted to the Beachbody Challenge ever. I've never gotten the t-shirt that I completed the program, even though I've completed lots of programs. I've never done that. And they were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. I can't believe you haven't done that. And I said, well, I can't believe some of you aren't further along in your business than you are. And they're like, oh, right. We all have limiting beliefs. We all do. Some of them are around the physical stuff, some of them are around the food stuff, some of them are around the mindset stuff, the relationship stuff, the income stuff. I think especially for women, there's a lot of limiting beliefs around the income stuff. I think a lot of women battle the archetype, the stereotype that this business is just like my little side hustle business. And maybe it's something you want to turn into your family's full-time income, but you're battling that stereotype in your mind that it's just a little side business. So you're holding yourself back. That's a limiting belief that you have. Or a limiting belief that you use food as comfort and you told yourself that story. So you continue to do that and you don't know if you can change. I mean, you could go on and on and on, right? We all have what we call limiting beliefs. Men have them too. They just don't call them that, And we all have them in various forms. We probably all have more than one. I have a really big fear, and it's interesting. This is one of the benefits of COVID. This is one of the benefits of quarantine is the time. Because when you have more time, sometimes you actually have more time to think. You're not so busy and you're not like almost hiding sometimes behind the busyness. There's time to think. And as I've had time to think and had time to have some like hard and healthy conversations with my family, but with myself, I've been able to articulate some of these limiting beliefs that I have more than I ever have in my life. And this whole before and after one, that was a big revelation for me, that doing a before and after picture and submitting it to the Beachbody Challenge is a very scary thing for me. And it's just a limiting belief from a story that I told myself, from an experience that I had 12 years ago. And it wasn't until I really started to unravel that and set that as a goal around this program that I thought, oh my gosh, that's so silly. And I have literally been holding myself back from connecting with other women who could have used this as well. I have a really, really big fear, limiting belief, fear of being left out. I don't have a fear of missing out, because if I just choose not to do the thing, I don't really care what I'm missing out on. But I have a fear of being left out. I don't know if it came from I was the youngest, but I was also the youngest by a lot. So it was just my mom and my dad and I. And so I always felt like my friends had siblings and other friends, and they were doing all these things. And it was like just me and my mom and my dad. So I think maybe some of it came from that. But when you really dive in, and now that we have some time, because life got a little bit quieter, didn't it? It got a little bit quieter. And that quiet can be challenging, but man, that's where the growth is. If you let yourself have the blue sky time to think, and we don't hide behind the busy, then those limiting beliefs and those old archetypes can kind of bubble to the surface. And if you can articulate them, you can work on them. And once I was able to articulate that, I sort of had this fear around befores and afters, and almost thinking like, I don't want to take up space in that area. I'm not qualified for that. I don't want to take someone else's spot away, as if there are only so many people in the world that can have health and fitness results. Like what? I know, like our brains are so weird, aren't they, when you start to unravel it? But once I was able to articulate it, that's when I knew that has to go on my goals. So for August, September, October, this 12-week chunk, I made some different buckets of goals, and one of those buckets is fitness. And I put as number one, I will complete Muscle Burns Fat Advanced, all 42 workouts, including the stretch. Said as someone who doesn't always do the stretch. Including the stretch, she says, to remind herself. I will complete all 42 workouts. I will do a before and after photo and submit it to the Beachbody Challenge. It's kind of scary for me. And I also put on my 12-week goals that I will then, our next program that releases October 5th is called 30-Day Breakaway. And it's a running program designed to kind of get you from a couch to a 5K, and includes some weightlifting components by an incredible super trainer. She's like a national track athlete. She's really amazing. So I'm very excited about that. And I put on my 12-week goals that I will start and finish 30-Day Breakaway. Also makes me nervous because my knee hurts sometimes when I run, but you know what I do? I don't do weight training specifically designed for running. I just run. Well, everybody needs a coach. Why would I not get a coach who's a national track athlete to help me design some weight lifting that's specific to helping me be a stronger runner, right? Like the program's so beautiful and genius. So on October 5th, I'll start that. I'll finish it on November 5th, which is my birthday. Be a gift to myself. And I will do befores and afters, and I will submit them to the Beachbody Challenge. And just by I never have to do it again. Although once you do it once, it's just like, okay, cool, now this is just part of the process, is what you do. But once I do it, that limiting belief that I don't have a story around my physical results, that no longer carries weight. Because who gets to decide if you have a story? And who gets to decide if your results are worthy or not? We do. And if this year's taught us nothing else, I hope it teaches us. I hope it is teaching us and has taught us that, number one, the time's going to pass anyway. Number two, we can do amazing things with this time. And number three, that our stories are important and that stories are connective tissue. And by not sharing all the pieces of my story in all its form and fashion, I'm missing out on connecting with all the women out there who might need what I have to offer, who might need this life change that I can help them find, who might need to understand that fitness can transform their life. So I'm encouraging you to put some goals down on paper for August, September, or October, or whatever month you happen to be watching this for the next 3 months. Chunk it into 3 months. If that still feels like too much, chunk it into 30 days. But you've got to get it down on paper, just like I did. You got to get it down on paper so that it goes out into the universe. Otherwise, there's just stuff rolling around in your head. And I also encourage you to not rush back into filling your life with the noise that might have been filling it prior to COVID, prior to quarantine, prior to all of that. Keep some quiet time in there, because when you do that helps us unravel a lot of the limiting beliefs and the fears and the stuff that likely holds us back from creating and building this life that we are meant to create and build. So I hope that helps you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this kind of stuff, you want me to do more of it, please let me know. I would be ever so grateful if you would hit subscribe to or share this with someone who might be interested in setting some goals and crushing some limiting beliefs. And I do know that we've got a little bit of time left in this crazy year that is 2020. And I also know, as I know you do too, that this is when we build the foundation for what we want to do in 2021. And the time's going to pass. We're going to get to December 31st, and there's going to be people who did amazing things with this time. There's going to be people who did nothing with the time, and we all will have had the same amount of time. I hope you choose to do something that serves you, that moves you closer to your goals, and then more importantly, moves you closer to the life and the human being that you want to be. Until the next time, stay strong. Make it a great day.